Good morning, gurus. Welcome to another episode. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Yesterday, the stock market pumped when the Fed kept interest rates on hold, but then Trump announced that he's going to bomb Iran harder than they've ever been bombed before, and then the market dropped very badly. The stock market lost $1 trillion after his war announcement. The president of peace and the one who got in promising no new wars and to end the Russia-Ukraine war on day one. We're going to jump into Bitcoin technicals. We're going to look at the stock market. Microsoft pumped after hours on earnings, up about 9%. Meta dropped 7% after earnings. Their earnings weren't as good as expected. We'll look at that as well. Hit the subscribe button, smash up, thumbs up, and turn on the bell. Right now, I'm mostly heavy Google. I bought more yesterday. I bought more last week. So Google, my biggest position. Then NVDA, Apple, TSM, Amazon, Foxconn. I want to build a position in Tesla. It's come down a lot. It was at 550 when I was warning it's way overbought with 160 PE ratio. Now Tesla has come down to around 299, and the PE ratio is still very high. So I'm going to wait a little bit more. Let's jump into the technicals for Bitcoin now. We're going in into the technicals, and you can see I've got a Bitcoin trade open. Bitcoin at 64. I've got a 1.5 Bitcoin trade open. It's up a little bit from yesterday. It's down 880, and I closed half of the trade negative 1,300 realized. So I've lost 1,300 so far on this trade, but it is a 96,000 trade, and I will build it as it comes down. Yesterday we came to 63,200. I'm gonna add half a Bitcoin at 63. So I've got half a Bitcoin at 63, 62,700. Maybe keep it 63 even. And it is ignoring the Iran war. So I've got 63, 65, 58, 60. You can see all these laddered orders down, and it is now half a 1.5 Bitcoin, 927. Let's see how it does. We'll go into the technicals, and you can see yesterday it was a bloodbath in the stock market. Samsung down 5%, TSM down 4.5%, NVDA down 3.5%. NVDA coming down to my buy. If you remember, I went nearly 90% in cash 1 month ago, and I've just been buying back Google mainly. So I'm going to be buying NVIDIA. My position is still very low. I'm going to start building up NVIDIA position as it comes down. Tesla 298. I was warning everyone at 550, and now we're down. Its high was 500, and now Tesla is down 40% from its all-time high. Tesla down 40% from its all-time high. And it's still not, it's come to my one of the trend lines. You can see it came exactly to the trend line I have drawn here. It is holding on this trend line, and I was warning everyone about this when it was breaking out here, that Tesla's P ratio is the fundamentals are completely wrong. You can see that its P ratio is still the golden ratio being 20, and Tesla's P ratio is still 285. The golden ratio being 20, P ratio on Tesla is 285, and they made last year 94 billion and 3 billion profit. And now let's compare it to a behemoth of a company, Google, which was up 1% yesterday. You can see its P ratio is sitting at 16 times. So it's under the golden ratio on their stellar earnings. Last earnings, they made 120 billion in 1 quarter. And their revenues, you can see here, they made 400 billion and 132 billion compared to Tesla's 94 billion and 3 billion profit. Google made 400 billion, 132 billion profit. And last quarter, in the quarter alone, they made 112 billion profit. More than all of Tesla's revenue they made just in profit in 1 quarter. So you can see Google is a behemoth. Google is still down around 22% from its all-time high, but it got a bit of a bounce. So now it's down 17%. And I was buying Google. We bought at 315, and I bought some yesterday as well, and we got a bounce. On the weekly, it's very oversold, turning up. On the daily, it's heading up. Google is a great buy right now. I'm going to add more into my Google position. On the 4-hourly, heading up. And we're already about, Google is already about, 6% off the bottom. Yesterday it pumped a bit, but then it pulled back on Trump threatening to destroy Iran. And you can see, but on the weekly, oversold. And again, the fundamentals on Google are amazing. And just remember these fundamentals. These are your golden star. 16 PE ratio. Remember the golden ratio being 20. Tesla's at 20, 280. Bitcoin, Google is at 16, and they made just in 1 year $400 billion revenue, 132 billion profit in 2025. And last quarter, so the last 4 months, they made 119 billion revenue and 112 billion in profit. So they almost made the entire 2025 profits they made in 1 quarter. And that's why I'm going to keep adding on to Google. And on the weekly, it's oversold heading up. On the daily, it's oversold heading up. On the 4-hourly, oversold heading up. Meta, also really good company. They're down about 9% after hours. You can see after hours trading, they closed at 587 and they dropped $40. On the 4-hourly, on the weekly, they're heading down more. They're not yet oversold, but starting to be. On the daily, they are now being oversold. On the 4-hourly, they are now oversold, but on the weekly, not yet. And I can see a bit of a head and shoulders here. Who sees it on the 4-hourly? Who sees the head and shoulders? Anyone who wants to see? I'll show you. Before, shoulder, head, shoulder. And then it actually dropped already after hours. Let's look at the fundamentals of Meta, which is Facebook. Their quarterly earnings were yesterday and they didn't beat earnings. Fundamentals, you learn fundamentals in the Stock Guru Mastercourse, jamesgshow.com. You can see the link down below. And you can see their P ratio now sitting at 21 times. So they're very close to the golden ratio that Warren Buffett teaches of 20. And as I teach in the Stock Guru Mastercourse, where you learn fundamental analysis, they're at 21 P ratio. And their revenues are 56 billion and 26 billion profit they made for that quarter, but that quarter wasn't impressive, and they dropped. In last year, they made 200 billion and 60 billion dollars profit, which is still amazing. It's not Google's 400 billion and 132 billion profit, but it's very close. 200 billion, 60 billion profit, but they dropped because no growth. It was expecting growth, and they didn't get much growth, and then it dropped after hours. The buying target on Meta is at 383, which is close now. It's coming close to the buying target, 383. Google is my biggest holding, and that's the main one. Bitcoin 64. It's trying to hold on to the support. We've got this support at 58, came down to multiple times. It's oversold on the weekly. It's trying to hold this breakout of this descending triangle. On the daily, it's also oversold, trying to turn up. And you can see this trend line. It held the trend line. It dropped to 62 and then pushed up. And then yesterday, it came down to 63 and then pushed up. So it's trying to hold this trend line. You can see we've got a support at 62,700. And 60,700 are supports, but I'm still seeing an inverse head and shoulders here on Bitcoin. Shoulder, head, shoulder. The only thing keeping it down right now is the Iran war with Donald Trump and the Iran war. If it was a ceasefire, this Bitcoin would pump, in my opinion. On the weekly, on the daily, oversold. On the weekly, oversold, but heading down again. And I've got my buy orders laddered down as I showed you. Crypto Guru Bot is still a red sell, hasn't fired a red buy. Green buy. Bitcoin Indicator Bot did fire a buy. You get both of those at jamesgshow.com. You can go to the website. The links are down below. On the daily, it's holding on. On the 4-hourly, we got a bounce. 62,700 is a nice buying area, and it came down to 63. And that's where I set that bias just now, where I showed you at negative 1K, 1.5 Bitcoin trade. Next trade at 63 and 60,500. In the elite traders group, Gemini went long on Google, as I was just talking about. Kimmy took a successful short on Amazon. I want to buy more Amazon because their P ratio and golden ratio are very beautiful. I'll look at it in the next video. Kimmy 2.7 went long on SpaceX. And Kimmy 3 went long on Microsoft just before this pump, actually, before the announcement. Look at that. The announcement of their earnings happened at 5 a.m. and Kimmy went long at Kimmy 3 went long at 2:16 a.m. So 3 hours before the earnings. Claude Opus 5 went long on Silver. And you can join the Clash of AIs. All the links are down below under the videos. To join Clash of AIs, you can see down below, it's $99 a month, clashofais.com, or you can join by clicking the YouTube membership here. And you can see you got Fable, Clash, ChatGPT 5.6, Ultra, Grok 4.5, and now Opus 5 trading. They're sharing every call in the Telegram. All the links are down below. Bybit 30k bonus, main exchange I trade. WeX a $200 sign up bonus if you trade on WeX. KYC free, you can trade privately from anywhere. Free Telegram where you can join the elite traders group, and then you can take the crypto course and the stock guru master course to learn fundamental analysis. And you can see some comments from students. I made my first 18k with your TA. Your videos and the most important, your mindset and character. You're amazing. Last week, so when the video app was going to explode, I got in some calls, got 100% return. So, and you can see just many people's comments. I made 10,000 profit in Tesla DCA. That's my updates in the market, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful day. Hit the subscribe button, smash up thumbs up button, turn on the bell. If you make money from me, I want you to become a messenger of peace. Push messages of peace. Hire social media marketers to push messages of peace. Use AI to push messages of peace. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.